Good morning, McNair. The question we are going to go over today is number 22 on the algebra release star, which asks, what are the solutions to x plus 7 squared equaling 81? All right, so when we first look at this, we do see that we have a quadratic that we're dealing with, right? And so we're having to do something in order to figure out what is the value of x, which makes this equation true. All right. Now, because we're dealing with a quadratic, looking at our answer choices, we're going to end up with two different answer choices, which both will find itself true. So that's what we are looking for. Now, looking at this, the first thing that I see, or the first thing that is noticed, is that we have the sum of x plus 7 squared. Now, if we have anything squared, the squared is telling us that it is some quantity times itself. All right, and so with that, just as if we had 3 squared being the same as 3 times 3, we have x plus 7 squared. So what we're going to do is multiply that quantity times itself. So I have x plus 7 times x plus 7. And that is equaling 81. Okay. Now that I have sort of factored that out, what I'm going to do is multiply. I'm going to use the distributive property, and I'm going to multiply every term in the first set of parentheses times every term in the second set of parentheses. Right? So that with doing that, I'm going to multiply first this x times x, which gives me x squared. Then I'm going to multiply this same x times 7, which gives me 7x. So now I've multiplied everything in the second set of parentheses times this x. So now I'm going to do the same with this 7. So multiplying 7 times x, which is 7x, and 7 times 7, which is 49. We're going to set all of that equal to 81. So now I have sort of a drawn out equation. My goal is to still figure out what could be the values of x in order to make this true. So with the quadratic, what I want to do first is I want to set it so that I have an expression on the left side equaling 0. So I'm going to subtract 81 from the right side of the equation, and whatever I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other. So I'm going to also subtract 81 from the other side of the equation. Okay, so I have 49 minus 81, which gives me a negative 32. So from here, we are going to combine like terms. So if I'm looking here, I have something with x squared, I have 7x, and negative 32. Our like terms, we have a 7x and a 7x that we can go ahead and combine. So I have x squared plus 14x minus 32 equaling 0. Now, I have a simplified quadratic where I can go ahead and factor and figure out what my solutions are. So what I'm looking for is two numbers. I'm looking for two numbers where they will add to give me 14, but multiply to give me a negative 32. Okay. So when I think of that, because my product needs to be a negative, I know that I'll have one positive number and one negative number. And so I have to now think of what are some possible products that will give me, or what are some possible numbers that I can multiply together to give me a negative 32. And so when I think of that, I have 4 and 8 will give me 32, and I have 16 and 2, which will give me a 32. So 16 and 2 will be the two that work, because I know that I can do 16 minus 2 to give me 14. And then with a negative and a positive, that will also give me the negative 32. So I have a positive 16 and a negative 2. So now when I create my parentheses, I have x plus 16, and I have x minus 2, and all of that equaling to 0. So now I'm ready to figure out what are my solutions. So first, I have x plus 16 equaling 0. And so I need to get x by itself. So therefore, I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. And therefore, x equals negative 16. And so that's one of my solutions. For the second solution, I have x minus 2 also equaling 0. And so in order to get x by itself, I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Therefore, x equals positive 2. So now I have both of my solutions. X equals negative 16. X equals 2. I look at my answer choices. J is the correct answer. Have a great day.